Hey guys, so I'm going to start off this video by making a really big announcement. I am a nerd.
What? Wait. You? Nerd? Kamar? No. Nah.
Yeah, it might seem pretty obvious, but once upon a time that wasn't even something I wanted to admit to myself. But nowadays, it's somehow cool to be a nerd, which, that's neither here nor there for me. I think it's just cool to be yourself. For me, that's kind of who I've always been. For me, I've always been into video games, and I've always been into the nerdy stuff at school, president of Science and Technology Club, that kind of stuff. But for a while, I didn't really want to, embrace that side of me too much like I am now. Like, it would have been the hardest thing for you to catch me walking around rocking a Jurassic Park shirt or, anything that would show that I'm into, those kinds of things. And the reason why I touch on that a little bit is because I just want to say that if you're not a nerd, then you're not cool. I'm just kidding. What I'm trying to say is that if you're not a nerd, that's fine too, as long as you're being true to who you are and what you like to do. For me, it's the gaming. I like astronomy. I'm into math. Yeah, I'm into math and a lot of other things. Like, I find it very interesting to understand just how the world works and just how numbers play into things that we can't even tie numbers to, like, consciously. That fascinates me, and that's what I'm into. I am so nerdy, it's not even funny. Matter of fact, I am so nerdy, it is absolutely hilarious. Like, I just recently started wearing glasses, and I am so glad that I didn't need to wear glasses when I was in school. Otherwise, that would have just been the cherry on top of the hot fudge sundae that is my life as a nerd. Actually, getting on here and talking about how big of a nerd I am reminds me of a specific story that would definitely prove this. So this is the story I'll be telling about one of my high school crushes called Tasha. And this happened through 9th and 10th grade, where we would be up all night talking on MSN Messenger about everything, and at school, whatever classes we had together, we would be seated together. If I didn't have a class with her, when I left my class, I would wait for her to get out of her class so we could meet up. And the same thing on her side if she left her classes before I did. Now one day, this got to the point where we were all at school just talking about relationships and the whole topic of boyfriends, girlfriends, and now awkward, nerdy teenage version of myself responded, girlfriends? Who need those? There's so much work, am I right? Tasha was there, and she did not like those particular words arranged in that particular order coming out of my mouth at that particular time, punctuated as such. She did not like what I just said, and she got visibly upset, and she left. Now, I remember chasing after her for the rest of that day, and she would not talk to me. And as soon as I got home, got on the phone, called her, and I was lucky enough for her to pick up, where I proceeded to explain to her just how much I like her as a friend. Now, anybody with half of a brain could have understood that I liked her more than that, she liked me more than that, but for some reason I don't know what went through my mind. I just couldn't really take it from that level to the next at the time, and she understood what I said, sort of, and she proceeded not to really talk to me after that. Slowly we worked our way back up to just being friends, but it was never truly the same, and it was also even more awkward when later on I told her that I actually did like her. I was not very smooth and I was a whole lot of awkward. It makes life a lot more interesting. It's kind of like going through life with the difficulty level turned up a little bit more. It's a lot more fun. It's crazy though that in this world that we live in, where it takes all different types of people or all different colors, as they say, people are still, narrow in their view of what another person's interest should be. Like, when I was at school, it was very hard for me to actually come and say, man, I'm into all these games. I'm into Pokemon, I'm into, Mario Kart, I play Super Smash Brothers. It's like 6-7 hours a day if I get the chance to. I would have been laughed at if I did any of those things. So for a while it kind of held me back. And then later on you get out of school and then it's like, who cares? You do whatever you want. Not really, but kind of. And this is kind of directed at you, my dear viewer out there in internet land, who's still in that stage of your life where you have certain things about you that you really want to show because it's such a big part of you, but you're afraid of what other people might think or just getting made fun of. But I'm telling you that be true to yourself. It does not matter what other people might say about it, because trust me, you will feel so much better about yourself. You love yourself so much more just to be able to express what you're into and express who you are. And the better you are at expressing who you are, the better you'll become at growing as a person. And that's why it might seem like, oh, it's no big deal that I'm saying that I'm a nerd now, but a couple of years ago it would have been like a really big deal to some people. And I say that because my closest friends already knew that I was a huge nerd. And that's another thing I want to point out too, that the people who are close to you, the people who really love you, they probably already know these things about you because they're not stupid. I'm sure they could look at you and just by talking to you be able to tell what you're into and what you're not into. So be open with yourself. You'll feel a lot better about it and they'll love you even more for it. The same way when they open up to you about who they are, you should pay them back in kind. And that's how you make this world a better place, my friend. That's pretty much it. I'm just gonna stop ranting right there. I might touch back on this a little bit more because there's so many more stories and things I can go through about my ordinary life that is just hilarious mix of cringeworthy awkwardness. So thank you for enduring this with me. I'll see you next time.